What's up, everybody? This is Happy to Game. Today we're going to go over Cicero's Fast Castle Boom build order in Age of Empires 2 Definitive Edition. You can learn this build by downloading Cicero's interactive build order mod found in the mod section. In the video description is a link to the visual build order cheat sheet and the build order written out in text format. Please use it, like it, and share it. I would also like to say I've made a few minor tweaks to the build to make it simpler and easier to understand. So let's get right to it.
Villagers to sheep.
Alright, so right away in the build order, you grab your two villagers. Over here, you essentially build two houses. So you build the house here and the house here. You're queuing up the villagers right away. What you want to do is you want to grab your scout and you want to find the sheep and bring the sheep to the town center as soon as possible. And then you want essentially your next three queued up villagers to go to sheep. So you're going to see in the visual cheat sheet there, in brackets, the population that you should be at and which ones to go to which area. So population 5, 6, and 7 you're going to see are all going to be going to sheep. So you should have a total of 6 sheep.
The next 4 villagers to wood.
So here you're going to see it says 7 out of 15. So the 8th population villager that's being created is now going to go to create a lumber camp. And this villager, after finishing the lumber camp, will go and chop wood. So we're at 8:15 right now. So the 9th villager that's going to come out, that's going to make it 9 out of 15, is going to go and chop wood. I like to typically take this villager to help finish up the lumber camp. You don't have to do this. And then have them both go to wood. So the next 2 villagers here are going to go to wood to finish off your wood choppers. So you should have in total, like I said, 4 on wood.
Send your next villager to lure the boar.
So now once you hit the 11:15, your 12th villager, or your 11th villager, but your 12th pop villager is going to be going and luring the boar. Now obviously you saw me, this is I kind of screwed up here.
Next 5 villagers should go to berries.
And I had him go all the way behind. I had to fix that. So here, it's going to go and lure the boar. The next villager that's going to come out is going to build 2 houses, okay? So at population 13, you're going to have that villager go and build 2 houses. At population 14, that villager is going to go and build a mill. You're also going to see in the visual cheat sheet that it says there's an arrow from the boar. Once you're about 15 population, you're going to want to take one villager that's harvesting boar right now to go and start luring the second boar. So here you got 15 to 20. It's around this time that you're going to want.
Now use one of your villagers underneath the town center to lure the second boar.
There you go. What Zero Empire says. So you should have a total of 5 villagers on berries. Now there's going to be a change that comes up that a modification that I've made that I think simplifies this a lot more. As you can see, I am a little bit late on the boar here. I'm at 16:25. It should have been 2 earlier. So this part I don't really understand, sending 2 villagers to boar. So what I did here is I actually changed this and I just made it so that the 18th and 19th pop villagers.
2 villagers from the boar to build farms.
So I essentially just skipped the last thing and it just go right to this right away. So I just had the 18th and 19th villager just go to farm.
Now send more villagers to wood until you have 9 villagers split between the 2 lumber camps.
So this is where I bring. So the next villager I'm gonna have go and build the lumber camp. So you're gonna see the next. So once your population cap is at 21, you're going to want that villager to go to wood. Again, I typically like to help finish up the lumber camp, and then they'll go to wood afterwards. And then the next villager here is going at population 20, is going to go to chop wood over here at this second lumber camp. And then pop 23 villager
Now build another house.
is going to build a house. Now I kind of screwed up here as well. I didn't scout more sheep, so you'll notice that I have a lot of villagers kind of idled there. So
Now send the last 3 villagers to gold. Also, start moving villagers from sheep to make farms.
so once you hit 24/25 pop, what you're going to want to do is your 25th pop villager, you're going to want it to start building that mine camp like Zero Empire says. So right now, so that my villagers weren't idling, I just had them kind of chop the kind of staggered or surrounding town center
Now
trees.
research loom, and then click feudal with 27 population.
There you go. So just like what Zero Empire says, once you hit 27 population, you're going to want to upgrade loom and then go to feudal age. So in the visual cheat sheet, you're going to see at the very bottom of age 1.
As the sheep run out, continue moving villagers to farms until you have 8 farms.
You're going to notice that I have kind of like a resource counter. So you should at this point have 9 on wood, 14 on food, and 3 on gold. Okay, so right now they're in the process of building farms. So once they finish building the farms, they will be going back onto food. All right, so right away during this section, you're going to notice a few things. You're going to notice that the sheep is going to start getting depleted, and that's when you want to start building the farms. I think Zero Empire quickly mentions that in this build. And then you're going to notice right away, once you hit feudal age, you're going to want to try and get the blacksmith and the marketplace up and running right away. Something that I noticed that helps this build go along really smoothly is actually building the market first and then building the blacksmith, just because the market
Now,
takes a little bit
build a
longer.
market and a blacksmith, and send the next 2 villagers to wood. You should then be able to click up to the castle age.
Yeah, so there we go. Exactly what Zero Empire says here. So I'm building a blacksmith and a marketplace. Again, I kind of screwed up. I built the blacksmith first when I should have built the marketplace first. So I'm just gonna speed this up a little bit here. Actually, no. I'll leave it as real time for now. I had my 2 villagers, so I'm at 29:30. And typically what I like to do is I like to have the person at the 28 pop to build
Now start moving villagers
that
on
house.
berries so that you have at least 14 villagers on wood. Research both double bit axe and horse collar.
So at this point, pay attention to your berries, because this is where the berries will start to deplete. While I'm teching or upgrade or going to castle age, I tend to like to move my villagers from berries to wood. When I was learning this build, I forgot this step very often, so it's a good habit to make sure you keep that in mind. And doing all the upgrades, the double bit axe and the horse collar research. And at this stage too, if you look at the visual cheat sheet, I do say queue up the wheelbarrow when you have the resources. I'm just gonna speed this up a little bit here, because nothing's really going on while this is getting upgraded. You'll see there is the wheelbarrow upgrade. And I'm just gonna go back to regular speed here.
Place down 2 town centers. tasking about 4 villagers to build each one, and research Boar. Set the town centre gather points to wood, and move villagers to build farms every time you have 60 wood.
So I tend to upgrade the bow saw after I've built all of my town centers, and this is just to make sure that I have enough wood and there's no delays in dropping down the town centers. So here I have my 4 villagers to build this one. I have another 4 villagers over here building the 3rd town center. So now I have one as my first one, second, and my third. And then I quickly like to go to the marketplace and purchase 100 stone so that I can quickly get my 4th town center up and running. And then at this point, this is where I will go and upgrade my bow saw now that I have all of my town centers built. Have all my town centers have their rally points and gathering points to wood. That way every single villager that comes out of these town centers all are chopping wood.
Villagers from all of your town centers. Set all of the gather points to wood and keep spending all of your wood on new farms.
There you have it. So in the visual cheat sheet, you're also going to see that I say at about 38 population, this is when you should start taking 2 villagers to start just constantly building houses and just queuing up houses, because you're gonna boom really quickly and you're gonna be able to pump out villagers so fast that you need to try your best not to get population capped or housed. And I think here in this game,
buy 100 stone and start saving wood for a 4th town center.
So I do this a lot quicker than the actual build order itself. But yeah, here is when you want to start building the houses. But like I said, I wasn't paying attention and I was focusing more on just building farms around my new town centers. And that's kind of the goal, is just try and build as many farms around the town centers. As you can see, I'm spending a lot of my wood really quickly here by creating the farms. And because I'm pumping out so many villagers and I have so much wood, wood choppers or villagers on wood, that I'm making and collecting a lot more wood. And with all the wood upgrades, that's also helping me stockpile a lot of wood. Yeah, so here, this is when I start to notice that I am gonna get housed. And this is when I start to try and build houses as quickly as possible, but at this point it is a little bit too late and I will get housed. Just gonna speed this up a little bit here, just because nothing's gonna be happening while I'm housed. So yeah, so it's quickly being used up the second that the population cap has raised. And you continue doing that essentially all the way through until you've hit 100 vills. And once you hit about 100 villagers, once you hit about 60, that's when you should start thinking about what kind of military units you're going to be wanting to use. And that's when you start building your barracks, and then after your barracks is done, you're going to want to build your archery range, your stables, your siege. And also you should start moving more onto gold and onto stone, because you're going to be thinking about building a castle. So yeah, so that's essentially the build. Hopefully that helps you out. If you enjoyed that, please give it a thumbs up, leave a comment down below, subscribe to the channel, and let me know if you liked the visual cheat sheet or not, and if you find that useful. If not, and you just prefer the text version in the description, let me know that as well, because it kind of lets me gauge what's more important, because creating the visual cheat sheets actually take up a lot of time, and if they're not useful, then I don't want to invest all that time in creating them if the text is all that people want. Thank you so much again, and I'll see you all again next time.